What are incomplete chords, and why is it so hard to find anything about them? I did a Google search and found almost nothing about this subject, and what I did find was highly confusing. Let's approach this idea in a simple and logical way. If a chord is complete, then all of the notes in that chord will be present at least once. So Captain Obvious would say that if a chord does not have all of its notes, then it's not complete. This seems almost unnecessary to point out, but it turns out this idea is very important. As an example, let's listen to a C7 chord. First, I will play this C7 chord in all four positions, what we call root position, first inversion, second inversion, and third inversion. Listen to what this sounds like. But after this, I will only show chords in root position, otherwise this video would get too long and too complicated. It sounds like this. Now we need to compare this complete C7 chord with one note or another note missing from it. First, let's leave out the root of our C7 chord. Remember that the root is the name of the chord. Suddenly we are left with an incomplete chord, and it sounds like this. We could replace that bottom note with two different notes. Listen to how different our chord now sounds. Now let's leave out the second note, the one that we call the third of the chord. We no longer hear this chord as major or minor. It is very obviously incomplete. And it is a bit mysterious. We might say it is ambiguous. It sounds like this. We can replace that missing note with three different choices. It will sound like this. Now let's leave out the third note, the one that we call the fifth. Strangely, this will not change the sound much. When jazz musicians talk about an incomplete dominant 7 chord, they are usually talking about the fifth missing. It sounds like this. But we can replace that missing note with two others that are going to give us very different sounding chords. They sound like this. Finally, let's leave out the top note, the one I call the dominant 7 interval. This time we are left with only a major chord. We can complete this chord with at least two other choices that sound incredibly different, and they sound like this. So what is happening here? The answer is that when we leave out a note, our brains are left free to complete these chords in an entirely different way. So what we hear in our minds becomes something unpredictable and mysterious. And when we replace the missing notes with something different, we are surprised. The result is unexpected. This is the concept of the incomplete chord, and this very simple concept turns out to be extremely important when we make music. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Leave me comments about what you like, and leave comments about what you'd like to see in the future. I welcome any suggestions about how to improve this channel.